What's up guys, Dimitri here from theScore esports. Now, I think we can all agree that League of Legends is a reasonably well-balanced game. The problem is that sometimes, despite Riot's best efforts, things have been known to fall through the cracks.
Big play! Big praise! Black Kariva so OP!
Over the years, we've seen broken champions, busted items, and strats that have made the game boring to watch and play. So we thought it would be fun to put on some rose-colored glasses, take a trip down memory lane, and remember those times when the game's meta was at its worst. Without further ado, here are the top 10 worst metas in the history of League of Legends. Kicking off our list is the item that brought AP Ezreal back into the meta, Runeglaive.
That is it.
Look at Huni on the player cap.
Huni is face down. Mepanero, look at the damage. He's got another one. 717 and he's flying away.
Introduced in patch 5.12, Runeglaive was Riot's attempt to give AP jungle champions some desperately needed buffs. But it wasn't long before players started to experiment with it on non-jungle champions.
35 minutes on the hunt as well as the coin. JWoww is already down. There's minions on the inhibitor turret down bottom, and Tabs is looking to get through the gate. Kickers gets hooked. Snipe! Mystic shot. Snipes Tabs down. True shot barrage flies across the elements roster, and Unicorns of Love look for one more. A little bit of a whoopsie from Hylissang.
Already a high damage carry, Ezreal became laughably broken with Runeglaive's mana sustain and auto attack modifier, allowing him to spam abilities and deal ludicrous amounts of damage at a very low cost.
Shift is down. He was trying for the one shot, but he missed him. Flash away from Bjergsen.
Might have just cost himself the life. Wild growth goes out. Boomerang goes across. True shot barrage for the finish. So many things that can come across to kill you. Ninja goes down, Smoothie goes down, and like you said, Jad, I was only going to take one good fight. TSM could have that Nexus.
And 6 months after its release, Runeglaive was removed from the game entirely. Taking the number 9 spot on our list is the Season 4 meta that saw the rise of duo jungling. Because of the prominence of lane swaps, top laners were vulnerable in the early game, which led to the rise of duo jungling.
We get a little mirrored ring around the rosy for buffs.
Yep, we're gonna have the duo jungles. Top laners, go ahead and jungle, except that you don't get any jungle items. Good luck, my friend.
Big farming adventure, and this is the kind of new conventional lanes we're seeing in competitive league, the 2v0. With many roamers, there are a ton of strategic possibilities with this because the only people really constrained to lanes is the AD carry and the mid laners. The supports are free to roam, the junglers are free to roam, and the top laners are free to roam. So, vision control becomes even more of a priority.
One side effect of duo jungling was the 4-man tower push strategy, where the duo jungle would start on the same side of the map as the bot lane duo, clear their jungle, and then push down a lane as a group of 4. With little to no counterplay, teams were able to run down tier 1 towers with zero opposition.
But of course, the 3 buffs did delay him a little bit in terms of damage onto this turret, but the bottom tower is a bit softer, of course. But they didn't get the tower, and they're losing their tier 2 right now. So was that all in?
We'll see if it was worth
a good
it or not.
plan.
Oh, this is interesting.
This is really bad for Frost.
Huh.
And they're going to push the wave in.
Yep. Yeah, they are. Wow. All right.
NA purists, close your eyes and ears because number 8 on our list might be a tough pill to swallow. It's the North American Season 1 meta. In North American pro play, it was widely accepted that the best formation was to have a mage in the top lane, an ADC solo laning mid, a tank in the jungle, and a bruiser and support duo in the bottom lane.
Well, at this point in time, what teams were doing is they were just putting champions with heavy crowd control in bottom lane. That tended to be the thing that you'd see. So, for example, Counter Logic's Morgana Scion lane kind of is an example of what teams would do. It's like, okay, well, Scion's got a stun, Morgana's got a binding, they've got a lot of crowd control when you put them together, so let's just stuff them together in a duo lane, and that way we'll be able to use those skills in team fights later on.
To put it simply, the meta was inefficient. It was better to put the weak early game AD carries with supports so they could farm and get gold, and mages were better suited mid because it was safer and they could roam more.
As you walk through the Karthus wall, will they go for the attack as Momo comes up from middle, laying down the null zone, forcing them back. The Aurelia ultimate having great range, and they're able to push them way back to the turret.
By Season 1 Worlds, the best North American teams had adopted this ADC meta. But Europe had been practicing it for a while, and the results showed it.
Open to attack, and surely this is good game against All Authority. Are going to go straight in. That Nexus is going to fall, and we will see an all-European grand final here for Season 1 for the $100,000. And, well, against All Authority versus Fanatics.
Coming in at number 7, we have the gold funneling meta. From patches 8.9 to 8.11, nerfs to mana items, crit items, and buffs to jungle experience gave birth to the extremely linear meta.
Be able to clean that up and fill the outer ring, but Sneaky invisibly supercharged onto Insanity. Goodbye, Karthus.
Consisting of a carry taking Smite and playing in the mid lane, the strategy was simply to give said carry all the farm and all the jungle minions, turning them into an unkillable monster with the help of 3 or even 4 supports.
Splice, ultis are coming up, here comes the engage.
All right, Call the Forge God comes out. Look at this. Xerxes able to shut down what did, but it is at the cost of his own life. Now Wonder turns it back around, flashing forward, got the Bloodwell passive to bring him back to life. Perkz goes forward before he's scattered by the weak, but there's simply not enough damage. It was Meek, a quadra kill for Perkz to close out the game, to close out the week.
Not only was this painful to watch, it was boring for a lot of the pro players who were being forced to now play support, and the lack of counterplay made it painful to play against.
Please just change the gold funneling strat so I don't need to play Braum again. But yeah, it's just so boring.
Okay, hear us out on this one. We know some of the old heads look at Season 2 with rose-tinted glasses, but number 6 on our list is the Season 2 support meta. Season 2 was a time before trinkets and sightstones, which was why warding was generally an afterthought to every role other than supports. Essentially, supports would buy gold generation items like Philosopher's Stone and Heart of Gold, and then use the rest of their gold exclusively on wards.
So supports weren't getting much gold, and they were having to build the same items to even get any gold. But then, all that gold they do get, they have to spend on wards.
Supports would sometimes go entire games without a single full item build. This affected champion diversity, where the only champions being played were ones who stayed effective late game without items.
And Sona is something that they just key off of every game they can get it. Najin Sword picks it almost every game, but so does Saigon Jokers as well, so they're kind of taking it away from them.
And they're going to take out Lulu for Chowster.
So that is his, I think, 3rd game in a row now onto Lulu. We keep seeing her picked up there.
No items, only wards. Looking back, supports really had it rough.
Madlife warding, and he might get him with a cleaver.
He's got a cleaver on in, he's flashed in, he gets exhausted instantly by Madlife, but they're going to turn him down. That's going to be first blood in, it's BB that picks it up once again, and now Karthus is...
It seems as though Riot is always trying to fix the jungle, which is why the Cinderhulk meta makes its way in at number 5 on our list. To give jungle tanks more late game viability, Riot replaced Juggernaut in favor of Cinderhulk. The enchantment had a 25% bonus health buff, which gave users scalability into the late game, and a passive that dealt damage in an area of effect around the user, dealing increased damage as the combat went on.
True. CLG is going to come down here
Zion
on the
wants
mid.
to get them in the choke. He's hoping to flash in, he goes!
That hook being missed, slicing Maelstrom goes in, it's gonna Lustboy locked up as well as Santorin in the middle, but the back line of damage dealers is still able to do what they need to do, wiping out Counter Logic Gaming now. Afrobu is gonna be the next, the rocket misses, Double Lift does have the quick silver sash, but it's already been used, and he can't cleanse the death. Double Lift, come on!
In Riot's defense, the buffs worked well, just a bit too well.
They get around the choppers without hitting. Righteous Glory doesn't really get him there. Medium with a 5-man Sejuani ultimate. If TSM can make it through this, they got it. But Cloud9 is locking them down. Bjergsen on the outside. He gets swapped in with the position reverser. How is TSM still alive in this one? They are doing everything they can, but Cloud9 closes the door on that fight.
The 25% health bonus turned out to be too much for the item's low price point. And faster than ever, you were met with an unkillable jungler who would shrug off any attacks and slowly cook you with the item's passive. This didn't help jungle diversity, with tankier champions being the only real choices, unless you enjoyed losing.
All right, Rek'Sai jungle does get picked up. Porpoise, another Rek'Sai for himself, continuing on these fighter junglers. He played Sedge once, but given the option, doesn't go for it again.
Riot initially nerfed some of the champions who benefited the most from Cinderhulk, but when this proved ineffective, they hit Cinderhulk with 3 nerfs over the span of 6 months, finally bringing peace and balance to the jungle.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Coming in at number 4 on our list is the Ardent Censer meta. In an attempt to make it a more viable support item, Riot buffed the Ardent Censer early in Season 7, giving it scaling attack speed and scaling on-hit healing.
Well, I'm becoming incredibly familiar with gold generation in the bottom lane. Once again, we have double Targon AD carries, double coin supports, and I'm just going to assume that they've got gold generation runes as well on those supports to really fund the Ardent Censer.
Months later, Riot came to the realization that entire games being dictated by the bot lane wasn't very healthy for the game, and nerfed Ardent Censer. Look guys, balancing a game in alpha is hard, so we're gonna cut Riot some slack on this one. But we have to include the pre-Season 1 meta on our list. That early in League's life, there really was no meta. People played whatever they wanted, wherever they wanted. But technically, a lack of meta can still be considered meta. Putting more and more hours into the game, a couple of broken champions emerged. Twisted Fate had a 40-second cooldown global teleport on his E, and a global slow on his ult. Jax had the ability to dodge everything in the game, including tower shots and even fountain laser. Alistar's ult gave him full magic immunity, 80 attack damage, and 80% damage reduction, and his passive gave him additional damage to towers. With only a small pool of champs to choose from, almost every game would be decided by who was the best at one of these champions.
It's worth noting that in his current incarnation, Cardmaster is a universal ban in competitive play.
TLDR, it sucked. Picture this. It's pre-Season 3, your ADC is peacefully farming the lane, and everything feels right. That is, until you get ganked by the enemy Jarvan. While he kills you with ease, you think to yourself, I should build some armor. But you're wrong, because no amount of armor could save you from the number 2 meta on our list, the Black Cleaver meta. This meta shift arose when Riot decided it would be okay to buff the Black Cleaver, giving it armor penetration and reduction.
See on Brutalizer, plus an interesting unique passive that shreds armor on all of your physical abilities, stacking up to a certain amount.
Meaning you could buy 4 Black Cleavers and apply all the armor penetration and reduction at once. As a result, everyone bought it. Multiple times.
Jumping in, the man drop's coming. Here we go. Missed, but Black Cleaver too good. Too good. Kiori too good. Too fucking good. Let me get Penta. Let me get a Penta! Pentakiru!
One can only guess why Riot nerfed the Black Cleaver 10 days later, effectively killing the League of Black Cleavers. Taking the top spot of our list for the worst League of Legends meta shift is the Juggernaut meta. Right before Worlds 2015, Riot released an update that would cripple champion diversity and turn the tournament into a repetitious affair. They released the Juggernaut rework, which buffed Garen, Skarner, Darius, and Mordekaiser. The jungle was low on diversity, with Elise, Rek'Sai, and Gragas being the only champions seeing serious play.
What Cool Tigers is doing is saying, okay, we ban Elise, our jungler, in order for him to have an early game impact, he needs Elise or he needs the Rek'Sai. That's the 2 preferred picks for Hojin.
Due to a bug partway through the tournament, Riot had to disable Gragas. Gangplank also got a rework that made him a late game beast.
Rush. Yeah. If a barrel explodes on multiple people, maybe a catch gorilla does combo onto Stake. Chain though out. Gangplank Gold's gonna zone them away. This is not a bad fight for the Flash Rolls with the ulti out from Nick. It's good. There's a barrel. Barrel does get it spam. Jumps in with a Flash ulti, but Carter's already taken out Prey. Flash Rolls, double kill there from Gangplank. Gonna keep running. Kuro's forced to flash out.
Maple's blue buff runs out, so obviously no more barrels, but that was so close.
Fair enough.
Due to so many game-changing picks and only 3 bans to work with, pick and ban would go the same way every single time. Red side was forced to ban Mordekaiser, Gangplank, and a jungler, while blue side was allowed to pick what was left on the board. Champion diversity was at an all-time low, and blatantly overpowered champions were running rampant. And while Riot did eventually deal with it after Worlds, it was a disastrous showing on the game's biggest stage.
Sneaky inside, there's a turret alive, they gotta be careful. A big knockback, and that's the kill into Morgana. Azir goes down as well, but the dunks are coming through. A double kill for Balls, a triple kill for Balls. Holy cow, they're all gone. Kill for Balls, holy cow. That's why team's been picking Darius.
Well guys, that's our list. Be sure to like our video, subscribe to our channel, and let us know in the comments if there's any other League of Legends related top 10s you want to see. See you next time.
Thanks for watching. If you want more great content just like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button.